Well, hello. My name is Jonathan Calloway, and welcome to my library. I've been collecting for a long time, as you can see, and I have varying tastes. I collect everything from literature to history to philosophy to church history to theology, a lot of different various topics. And in my day job, I get to work from here. I get to work from home. I get to work in this room, and it's nice. And a lot of times, people on the Zoom calls that I'm on ask me, is your library real? Is this a fake background? And I like to pull a book off the shelf and say, I have gotten so great at Zoom automation that I can pull a book off the shelf and interact with it together and show it to you, and we can read it. It's great. But of course, that's not true. All of these books are obviously real. So I have this channel because I was kind of challenged to think about some using it for a couple of different reasons. First of all, showing off and explaining why I collect the things I collect, using it for some of the books that I'm selling on eBay, and maybe to talk about different subject matter, right? Like mentioned a few minutes ago, literature, philosophy, things like that. Um, I don't intend these to be long form videos. I don't really like long form videos. So these will be pretty short. I think most of them will be. But you might be thinking, why the name Shelton Rare Books, right? Why did I name my eBay store that? Why am I naming this channel that? Well, it comes from an episode of Law and Order, specifically from season 13, episode 18, in which there is well, you just see for yourself.
I dwell in possibility. That's Daryl in a nutshell.
And Emily Dickinson, right?
Yeah, he got interested in her poetry after Sports Illustrated described his past completions as tiny ecstasies set in motion. He came here looking for Roberts Brothers' first edition with original gilt and silver white cloth boards. It's the feel of the cloth spine, the look of the marbled end papers. Daryl doesn't experience anything halfway.
Sounds like your experience with him isn't limited to books.
Daryl and I don't play for the same team. And I'm not talking about football. We're just friends.
Okay, so what can you tell us about the party?
It was a weekend of free-flowing ideas between diverse and curious minds.
Sounds like my last birthday party.
I've always thought that clip was kind of funny because the book that she holds doesn't have a cloth spine, and technically the end papers aren't marbled, it's the boards. But that's just Law and Order, right? You kind of put up with that kind of stuff, those inaccuracies, along with the reason why you're watching the show in the first place. Anyway, hopefully you won't leave this channel feeling that way, right? Where there's a lot of horrible inaccuracies and horrible things that this dude said who doesn't know anything about what he's talking about, but we put up with him anyway. But anyway, if we do, hopefully that will encourage some free-flowing ideas. Thanks.